everyone. Welcome back to Make It in Media. I'm your host, Cami Brango, and guess what? We've made it to the season finale. If you've been with us since the very beginning, you already know we've covered a lot. Landing internships, nailing interviews, building confidence, networking like a pro. Today, we're wrapping up the season with an answer to a listener question that honestly, I think a lot of you are going to relate. Here's Zaria.
Hey Cami, so I just started a new job and I'm looking to really stand out to my bosses. What can I do to grab their attention and really become a leader in media?
Zaria, this episode is for you and for anyone out there who's thinking, I'm not just here to do the job, I'm here to grow into a leader. Whether you're just breaking in, starting an internship, or in that first big role, there are ways to help you stand out now that will set you up for leadership later. So let's jump right in with Ekwa Msangi, a director on the Disney series Growing Up, on one quality she looks for above everything else.
I like working with nice people.
Yeah.
Just kind people.
Very true.
People that are nice to be around.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to spend hours and days and months and years sometimes with people, and it's really hard to do that if they're super complainy or super negative or super, whatever it is, you don't want to do that. And so, nice people is like number one. So people who sort of match my energy, or at least we can get along. We don't necessarily have to match it, but at least we can get along in that aspect of things. I've worked with producers who were amazing and supportive and collaborative and helped to get the thing together. And, these are the people that you end up working with over and over again. And then I've worked with people who, I know they're taking advantage of other people, even if they're being nice to me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's just going to be a minute until you turn around and you're doing something shady to me too. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's on producer level, that's on PA level, that's on any kind of level. So nice people would be number one. And then, as much as I encourage and think it's important for you to show me who you are, I'd love to know your talent, all of those things, just kind of knowing when that is. If I'm really focused on trying to figure out how to get my actor to do a thing that they need to do and you're busy pitching a show to me, it's probably not the best time for me to be able to focus or give you the attention that you need. What would be useful is for you to help me to do that thing. Show me that you can take some sort of leadership. Hey, I noticed this actor is having this problem and so I brought them a latte. Do you think that's okay? So that tells me something about you're observant and you're thinking about and you're trying to help me think about them as well and get the job done efficiently, et cetera, et cetera. And so therefore, I can lean in a little bit more when you're now telling me the thing that, is important to you.
Ekwa makes it clear. Your talent matters, but so does being the kind of person people want to work with. Energy, attitude, and awareness go a long way in leadership. Now, once you've got that attitude locked in, how do you take action early? According to Samantha Cammarata, former manager of campus programs at NBC Universal, don't wait to make your mark. This is important.
Hopefully you're a great intern and you can return for many semesters, but at the front end, your internship may be 3 months and that's it. So that's all you get with a company. I would say a mistake interns might make is to wait too long to get comfortable and start pitching projects or ask if they can raise their hand and help out with something or taking initiative. A new job can be scary for everyone, that's always true, but I would say the interns who stand out the most, who do return semester over semester, are the interns who hit it out of the park from the very beginning, who really from the first day are making introductions, meeting people on the team, looking for ways they can contribute, and not taking too long of a time to ramp up and feel comfortable and be brave. Maybe you're not comfortable yet, but raise your hand and try. Those are the interns who really stick out.
That's the difference between blending in and standing out. Day one is your moment to make an impact and to show exactly why you're there. Speaking of making an impression, Egypt Sherrod, star of HGTV's Married to Real Estate, believes it's not just about what you gain in your career, it's about what you give.
It took me a long time in my career to understand that the true value was not necessarily in what I acquired. It wasn't in awards. It wasn't in these big moments or meeting people. The value was truly in the heart and core and spirit of the relationships you had with people, the impression you left on people. And also, instead of taking from every experience, what can I get from it? It's what can I give? How can I be of service?
I love that.
And if you're 18, you're 22, you're 24, you're starting out your career, you're trying to figure out what you want to do. I think taking certain characteristics from that, taking what we're saying from that, and really just infusing it in everything that you do. We talk so much about networking, and that word is almost overused, networking, but I believe many people use it the wrong way, thinking how many people can I know, how many cards can I collect, how many people's profiles can I like. That's not networking. Networking is truly building substantial relationships with people, where they're not just pouring into you, you're also pouring into them, and it becomes intertransactional. And so think about that, especially if you're applying for an internship somewhere. Figure out how you can be of service, not just what can you get from the experience, because the people who get the jobs are those who leave the lasting impression and who have poured more into the business that they're in than they've actually gotten from it.
Yeah.
To add to that, I would also tell that person, that young man, that young lady, please walk into a room and say, how can I leave this place better than I found it?
That leave it better than you found it mentality, that's leadership in action, long before you have a leadership title. And when it comes to guidance, Torrence Boone, VP of Global Client and Agency Solutions at Google, shares how to approach mentorship in a way that's natural and effective.
Mentorship, in the beginning, I would just say, be open, follow up. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Be respectful of people's time. We know that everyone's busy, but do not be afraid to ask people for advice. And mentorship, it doesn't have to be a capital M mentorship, because that can be really overwhelming. And you're right, when people do come up and there isn't really any accumulated experience or context, and they're like, can you be my mentor? It can be a bit jarring, but I'm happy to answer questions, provide advice. So work your way into that, but recognize that networking is really, really powerful.
See the pattern? Leaders aren't just skilled at their jobs. They build relationships, learn from others, and invest in people. Sometimes, though, what sets you apart is pure visible effort. Here's Kelsie Kiley, producer of Comedy Central's Broad City and Paramount's Younger, with a story that proves it.
And when you're working in production, you're often working like 12 to 15 hours a day. So the people that you notice are the people who are super, super nice and who never question the work. They're just like, all right, this might not be the most glamorous thing that I'm doing right now in this entry-level position, but I'm gonna do it as absolutely best as I possibly can. And those people, I cannot tell you how much they stick out. It's wild. We had an intern, for example, on Broad City Season 3, who I wound up pulling up to be my assistant on Season 4, and who's now the associate producer on Season 5. And it was just her really, really putting in the extra effort. She stayed late, she did everything, she went above and beyond in every way that she could think, and it showed. And to just say that it's so simple, it feels crazy, but it's really just really putting in the work, and people will notice.
Effort creates opportunity, and when the opportunity comes, you need to be ready to show your value. Jackie P. Ross, career strategist and personal branding expert, says tracking your accomplishments is key.
I really encourage all of you to make sure that you're constantly making an inventory of your accomplishments, whether you think they're small or large, and keeping a list of it so that you're able to talk about it, because that will help you with your career, especially as early careerists or students, because you might think, I don't have anything of value to offer an employer. And you do. Keep track of those things, whether you volunteer or you're doing something in school, will definitely come in handy.
And when you're doing all of this, remember, visibility matters. Wendy Douglas, executive producer at TLC, explains why you can't give anyone a reason to overlook you.
you have to have mentors. Trust me, I really don't think there's anyone who's gonna say, no, I don't wanna help you, I don't wanna talk to you. I mean, I've been able to do that over the years. At Discovery, we have a lot of female executives in high positions, it's so great to see. It's so welcoming, it's so refreshing. And just having conversations with them, learning from them, having them mentor me has helped me tremendously. So that you have to do that, have mentors, and work hard, be on point, show up, be vocal, be professional. All of these little things, it makes a difference, because that way you don't have a reason for anyone to overlook you or to give it to someone else. You have to be ready and on point first and foremost. That's important, so people will see that and respect that.
Even the smallest responsibilities can build the building blocks of leadership. Just ask Resham Nijan, founder of Culture House, and Zoe Rogovin, now head of nonfiction at Wasserman.
One thing in production is, especially when you're coming in, when you're doing internships and you're kind of at that stage, be open-minded in the way that you're not too good for any job, because a lot of things in production can seem very small or sort of like a small task. And it is really important to be detail-oriented. And as you kind of grow in the ranks and become a producer, you'll appreciate and understand, like, just making sure that your coordinator put a stapler in the filing thing and you have it on set. It's actually very important. So to take all of those things seriously when you're learning and not feel like you're doing something that's beneath you, but doing all those things at the same time paying attention to what the people a little bit ahead of you are doing, so that you can understand how those skills will translate and kind of help you move upward, if that makes sense.
Can I mention one thing about that really quickly?
Yeah.
So my amazing coordinator, I always say to her, she handles 3 schedules, 3 really, really heavy schedules. And whenever there are days where she's overwhelmed, when of course there are, and things are crazy, we're all sending her meetings to set, et cetera, the thing that I always try to help her remember is that those schedules for right now are just 3 people's schedules, but mastering those 3 schedules tells me that she can handle 3 projects. So it's not about what you're doing right now, but that skill set and that ability to organize and to be able to handle those 3 things is a reflection on being able to manage 3 projects down the line or more. And so that's ultimately those skill sets that seem small at first are so much the building blocks. And
absolutely.
All right, before we wrap up, the top gems from today's leaders. Be someone people want to work with. Skills matter, but so does energy, positivity, and collaboration. 2, act early. Don't wait for someday. Raise your hand and show leadership now. Relationships are your foundation. Give as much as you take, and your network becomes a community. And now it's time for the Media Moves Pep Talk. To give you some motivation, here's Vanessa Santana, former associate brand manager at Adobe Unilever.
I always remind myself is your life is a compilation of all the things you say yes to. And I think for me, similar to you, when I was I just said yes to so many things. It was like, I have nothing to lose. We're in college now. And you got, everyone in this room, if you're still in school or even if you're not, you have so much power because you can say yes to so many things, and that yes can take you so many places.
And that's a wrap on season 1 of Make It in Media. Thank you for tuning in, sending your questions, and sharing this show with your friends. Season 2 is coming soon, and we'll be back with more voices, more tips, and behind-the-scenes advice to help you break in and rise to the top. I'm Cami Brango. Until next season, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep doing the work to make it in media. Make It in Media from the Center for Communication is produced in association with BRIC, a leading arts and media institution anchored in downtown Brooklyn. Camila Brango is the show's host. The lead writer and executive producer is Derek Bourbon. Marangelica De Castro is the floor manager and head of social media. Fred Brown is the supervising producer. Clinton Folsom Jr. is the director. Franklin Grant is the audio technician. Jonathan Ortiz is the operations director. Jose Astorga is the studio engineer. Joel Topsik is a consulting producer. And the show is edited by Marangelica De Castro and Derek Bourbon.